but apparently it's still closed. Too bad.
This isn't working, and I ain't stopping.
All right, so the royal we are heading out. I'm trying to test something with this microphone. Maybe it'll work better, maybe it won't, I don't know. Weather is pretty weird right now. I kind of thought, I don't know what I thought, but it's like super windy and it's cloudy and it's kind of cold. I mean, it's definitely turning into fall. So I am not entirely sure what I am going to do or where I'm going to go, but I am going to go exploring nonetheless and see what I can see. Maybe I'll spend the night, maybe I won't, but we shall see. Well, I heard that this road, or the Kelso Canyon Road off of Jawbone Canyon, was closed, but I thought that was from back when Hillary happened, which was a couple of weeks ago, shoot, maybe even a month ago. But apparently it's still closed, so that plan was thwarted, so now I have to figure something else out. So I just stopped at this interesting, let me spin around, rock formation. It is really cool. I know I've driven through here before and either I don't remember it or I just didn't think about it, but it's pretty neat. I don't know if the weather's gonna weather looks like it's gonna get weird, so probably shouldn't be in a riverbed, but I'll just keep my eyes peeled. So the road I'm currently on, I came back on the Kelso Canyon road after going a different route and it wasn't blocked, so I guess I can go this way. I mean, there's a few places that aren't so great. Actually, this part coming up doesn't look so great, but it looks like I can get around it. So, plus it looks like it might rain again today. We got nice puffy white clouds, which is cool. All right, while I'm waiting for my lunch to heat up, I'm going to talk a little bit about this Super Pacific that's on my GMC Canyon. I have a 2021 V6, not diesel, long bed. Apparently they don't make those anymore. But I last summer put a Super Pacific on the truck, and I wanted to chat a little bit about why I did that and what it's actually meant in doing that. Okay, first off, the whole catalyst for this, all my previous camping was either sleeping in the back of the truck, just open, or packing a tent. That works great if you're going someplace and you're going to stay there for a couple of days. The problem is that to do a tent, now you have the tent, you have cots, you have sleeping pads, you have sleeping bags, you have pillows, you have just this gob of gear that goes with you. Now, in my previous configuration, I had a tonneau cover, one of those back flips. I don't remember what model, but anyways, it made basically the back half pack part of the truck flat. Looked great, was great for visibility. Problem is you know, you limited your space, and that thing was packed. So what would happen, like to go disperse camping, as you're aware, do the overlandy type thing. Oftentimes I'd go with my youngster, who's not so young anymore at 18, and we would do disperse camping with no idea in mind where we're going to go, and we just start traveling, taking roads, you know, going around. Inevitably, what would happen is we would get to a location. No, we would not get to a location. We'd be trying to find a location. It would get super late. It would get dark, and we would be trying to roll in, trying to figure out where in the world we were going to sleep. When I had my bigger truck, my 2006 Sierra 1500, there was a couple of times that we ended up sleeping inside the truck. I'm 6'2", not a good idea. That was a horrible night, not comfortable at all. And from there, I was on the search for what would be a good alternative or a good solution. I looked at four-wheel campers. I didn't really like those, and apparently on the GM Canyons and the Colorados, you cannot put a slide-in camper. It voids the warranty, and it's a big Greek tragedy. The other thing I looked at was teardrop trailers, right? Figured because I wanted something small, something that was easy to, if I was going to do it, to tow, and was looking at those too. Here's the big problem with both of those solutions. And don't get me wrong, this thing isn't cheap, but once I explain this, you might understand why I went with this one. Problem is the four-wheel campers get expensive really fast. The teardrop trailer, at least the one I was looking at the Beans, beautiful trailers, really wanted one. Car drove by. But super expensive. At least for me, for my budget. I just didn't want to spend $30,000 to $65,000 on a teardrop trailer. I mean, one, I didn't have the money for it. And one day, my buddy over at AV Overland Supply, Chris, posted a photo on his Instagram of somebody with one of these on a Tundra. And I'm like, holy crap, that's nice. I was like, is that a, you know, throw out the different brand. I'm like, is that a GFC? Is that a Topo Topper? Is that, you know, one of those? And he goes, no, it's a Super Pacific. And I'm like, oh. He goes, you should check them out because they are super awesome. So I checked it out, went to their website, looked at some videos, well, went to their website, looked at it, was like, holy crap, then started watching some videos, and I'm like, damn, these things are super nice. It's the way it's thought out, the option, well, there's not even any options. The only option on this thing, well, there's two options. One, the back window you can get with a window or without a window. That's not a pay option. You just pick. I got the window. Sometimes I'm not sure if I should have done the window. Maybe I'll have to talk about pros and cons later. And then the other pay option is a sliding glass removable window. And I was just like, you know what? I'll add that. That way if I want to clean the window or do something, then fine. I'm like, wow, that's great. You know, not really too many options. There's some accessory things you can get, like, you know, molly panels and stuff like that. But for the most part, you don't have to, like, you know, option out different doors or different windows or even though I just mentioned windows, but you know what I'm saying, you know, and it's not like you start at a price and then by the time you build it out the way you want it, the price has gone up $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or more. But here's the main reason why I wanted to do this compared to the other options. On top of the fact that when I looked at it, it seemed kind of, you know, more reasonably priced. Number one reason though is I wanted something that I could punch down a forest road, and then when I finally got to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to stop. I need to stop and set up and I'm done, and to be able to get out of the truck, undo the latches, pop it up, and basically be going to sleep in a short amount of time. I keep the mat stays up there. I keep bedding and deflatable pillows up there. So pretty much all I got to do is grab my little air pump, put some air in the pillow, put some air in the pad, and I'm done. And I can be asleep like in maybe 15 minutes if I'm going slow. That was that right there has been a huge game changer. Now, there's one little caveat about this as opposed to a rooftop tent, because you could say, well, that sounds like a rooftop tent. You should have just done that. The main thing about this, I'm getting old. Hold on a second. I'm getting older. Crawling up and down a ladder, not a good idea for me. The other thing is on a rooftop tent, as far as I know, you can't stand up in it. This thing you access from the truck bed. I can stand up, get dressed, get undressed, get ready for bed, standing. If I want extra room, I can fold the mattress over, push the whole thing forward, and basically have the entire 6-foot truck bed, minus all the garbage I have in there, open for, you know, for me to stand in. These things, I hate to use the word game changer because it's like a overused term, but honestly, for me, it has been a game changer because it's really opened up where I can go, what I can do. It's kind of eliminated that worry that if I need to stop. I mean, like for instance, technically right now, I could pop this thing up and take a nap if I wanted to, and not have to set up a tent or whatever. Anyways, that's my thought process on this whole thing. If you have any specific questions you'd like to know about these things, or you know, basically lessons learned or whatever, let me know. I can either address it in the comments or I can make another video about it. I'll probably make a video about the main things I like about it, some of the things that I don't like, there are a few, and make another video on that. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you hear whenever I do that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and have my lunch. Okay, the bees were getting to me. This wasn't too bad, actually. I was kind of impressed. Well, this started out as a kind of a weird day. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. I just kind of got up and decided to start exploring. And it was one of those things where I was like, you know what? I'll just see where it goes. Maybe I'll go home. Maybe I'll camp. Maybe I'll stay in the desert. I had no idea. So I ended up back in the mountains. Funny story. Since it's still hunting season, the fish and game guy, he didn't flag me down. I was kind of driving by him. And he was walking towards me, and I was like, hey, weren't you the guy over at the other place last weekend? And he's like, hey, I was. He goes, yeah, I remember you. So I got to talk to him and talk about what he does with his job. I should have asked if I could have interviewed him, but I didn't want to. Or not. I mean, I did want to, but I just felt uncomfortable. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should have asked him for an interview, because I asked him all kinds of questions. I'm not that familiar with hunting and stuff, so it was kind of a perfect opportunity to check into that. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I just cruised around and observed a lot of the roads that had been washed out because of the rains and stuff. And I found a little spot. You can't really see much right here, but in this dark area behind me, there is it's actually kind of on the side of the mountain, so I get a nice view. So hopefully that'll be super awesome in the morning. And yeah, I made some hot chocolate, which I didn't film, but I made some hot chocolate. And I'm gonna sit here and warm up by the fire because it is a little cold. I'm not entirely sure how cold it is. I'll check that in a little bit, but it's definitely gonna be a cold one tonight. So anyways, cheers. All right, so right now it's 37 degrees. The 26 is from before. I guess I should clear that. Where's the clear button? That's that one. So we'll start over. So right now, everything's 37. You know, I did the satellite weather forecast thing, and it said it should only get to like 40, maybe 40, maybe 37 at the lowest, but it's like 8 o'clock, and it's this cold. So I think it's gonna get pretty damn cold. I just set up a time lapse to hopefully do a nighttime time lapse. And I'm back in the tent, or back in the Super Pacific, have the heater on. It's raising the temperature. It actually shows 64 degrees when it was like 37, 31. I'm not entirely sure, I can't see it. But anyways, hopefully the time lapse turned out okay. Well, it was kind of a rough night. It was super cold, and yeah, so I did run the buddy heater quite a bit, but it'd take the edge off. But then it would get really cold. It looks like the temperature dropped down to 33. 33. Currently, it's a nice warm 54.9. Yeah, I mean, with the heater on, at one point it got up to 86, so that helped. But I got to come up with a better solution, because this isn't working, and I ain't stopping